everyone, let's try that again. My name's Mandy Witherby and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Sydney, Australia. I was having some Wi-Fi issues, so I'm just trying again, jumping on, seeing if this is going to work right this time, or work better I should say this time. I've just rebooted our router, so hopefully fingers crossed, everything will look better. So I'm going to call it up on my iPad so I can see how things are looking. Oh, now my iPad's crashing. Okay. Oh dear, it's going to be one of those days. All right, let's have a look and see. Let me check my settings in my iPad, make sure I've got Wi-Fi. Okay, that's looking better. That's happier. Now let's see if I can pull that up. Oh, here we go. Awesome. That looks clearer, I think. Oh, good. Good. Oh, technology. Well, welcome back everybody who was here before, and to those that might just be jumping on now, thank you for being here. And again, if you're watching the replay later, thank you. Having one of those technical issue days today. Okay, so we've got Tina Marie, we've got Laurie, we've got Julie. Awesome. Thanks for coming back, everybody. Thank you for being patient. Oh dear. Well, at least we are clear now and we can carry on. So how is everybody? How was your weekend? Let me know. Oh, hi Rose. Thanks for coming back. Looking good now. Awesome. Fantastic. Well, we tried a couple of things and in the end we had to reboot the router. So all is happy. Good. Thank you, Laurie. Yes, you're welcome to share it now because now it is clear. It would have been embarrassing if you had have shared it earlier when it was all blurry. So thank you for that. Okay, so how is everyone? Laurie told me on the previous video that it is snowing over there and quite cold. She said the snow is beautiful, but she doesn't appreciate the cold so much, which I totally understand. Whenever we've gone to visit the snow, of course, we've always rugged right up and worn our snow gear and everything. So yes, but I couldn't imagine walking around in that all the time, every day throughout winter. So for months on end. So yes, I think I sometimes think that I would love to live in the colder snowy areas, and then other times I think maybe not. I don't tolerate the cold terribly well. Okay, so hopefully now that we're up and running, what is the time? Oh yeah, so now I'm about 20 minutes late, so I'm not sure if people will jump on now or not. We'll see how we go, but we've got a few here, so that's great. So we will go ahead with all of the things that I had to tell you. So we've still in our Sale-A-Bration time, only a couple more weeks left actually. What have we got? 2 weeks left after this week. So Sale-A-Bration finishes on the 28th of February. So if you're not familiar with Sale-A-Bration, if you're new to watching me, Sale-A-Bration is a fantastic promotion that Stampin' Up! Runs, and there's lots of ways that you can earn free products during Sale-A-Bration, one of which is placing an order of $90 or more to receive some free products which you can choose from this brochure. So if you don't already have a Sale-A-Bration brochure and you would like one, please let me know. I'd love to get one to you. If you would like to go to my blog, which is mandyspapercraftcreations.blogspot.com, and you'll see that when I put the camera down to the desk. I do actually have a PDF version of it because we're getting quite close towards the end of Sale-A-Bration. By the time I send you the brochure, etc., it might not leave much time, but you're most welcome to go and check out the PDF version on my blog. But yes, if you would like a paper copy, I'm certainly happy to send one to you. Hey Laura, how you going? Oh, you've shared my video too. Thank you so much. Oh, you were going to look at it later. No worries. Thank you so much for coming back to me later. That's awesome. Great. Yes, so today we're going to be playing with some of the free Sale-A-Bration products, as well as some of the other products from the mini catalog, which is jam-packed full of beautiful, beautiful products. There are so many in here. I received some more in the on Friday and again today. I put in some more orders and received some more products, so that was awesome. Also stocked up on my adhesives, because you can never have enough adhesives, forever running out of adhesives. Clear plastic envelopes I use as well for my, here's one. I was just trying to find one that was not looking too daggy and crumpled. Little clear plastic envelopes. I use these whenever I send. It's got a little seal on the top there, so you just peel off the plastic backing, and then that flap just seals over on itself. Whenever I'm sending any of my cards, I always send them in a clear envelope and then pop that into an ordinary envelope, which I then address, because this protects them in the weather. So if you're sending your cards and there happens to be a downpour or it's a bit of a wet day, you know that your cards aren't going to get ruined because they're sealed in these plastic bags. And all of my class kits all get put in these bags as well. So they're called clear medium envelopes. They're in the annual catalogue with all the other envelopes if you're looking for them. But it's always great to have those on hand, and they come in a pack of, is it 40 or 50? I can't remember now. I think it's 50. I could be wrong. But yes, they are always very handy to have. And whenever I make one of my cards, I pop them into one of those envelopes as well, just to store them, to keep all the dust off them, etc. And I'm not sure if you can, you probably can't see up behind me. I've got, this way. Up behind me, I've got some cards there on display. And you can see some that are hanging on my display rack there. Those ones are all actually in the plastic envelopes too, just to protect them. So always great to have those. I have a little card here I'm going to share with you in a moment. I did post this one the other day on Facebook actually, but I'm going to share that with you because we're using those papers today. So yes, so if you would like catalogs, let me know. I'd love to get them out to you. We're using a few products from each of the catalogs today actually. Oh, excuse me. Tickle in my throat already from talking so much. All right. I wanted to let you know as well, any of you that might have been watching me last week, and I was using the corner bouquet stamp set, and I did post my cards throughout the week, and I've got one more that I didn't actually post yet as well. This stamp set is from Sale-A-Bration, so it's one of the free items that you can choose if you like it. This one is currently on low inventory, which means there's limited stock at the moment. So if this is one of the ones that was on your wish list, I would suggest that you get your orders in really soon so that you don't miss out. If it goes on back order, I'm not sure how long it will take. Because of COVID at the moment, we can't tell how long products are going to take to get to us and whether or not they're actually going to be available before the end of Sale-A-Bration. So be sure to grab that one before they all go, if that was on your wish list. Okay. You also might remember, if you're watching last week, I was talking about the Hey Chick and the Hey Birthday Chick special that is on at the moment as well. So this is currently running. So these products are now available. So we have the Hey Birthday Chick, which was in the mini catalog, and it now has coordinating dies that you can purchase. And also to Stampin' Up have brought back the original Hey Chick stamp set, which was released as a Sale-A-Bration item in 2017. They brought it back because it was hugely popular, and it now has coordinating dies as well, which it didn't have the first time. So these ones are available, so you can go to my online store and have a look at those, and you'll find my online store via my blog, which is mandyspapercraftcreations.blogspot.com, and I will have that on my desktop when I bring the camera down to the desktop to show you what we're going to be playing with today. All right, I've got some classes coming up. I've actually got one coming up this coming Saturday. That one is already full. That's using the ice cream corner suite, so super fun and cute projects in that one. And then I have Technique Club coming up as well, and we are going to be looking at the gilded leafing product, and we're going to be doing some different techniques with that this month, and that'll be on the 27th of February, and the RSVP for that is actually this Saturday. So if you were interested in my Technique Club, make sure you go to my events section under my business page here and check that one out. Look at all the information. Let me know if you would like a information and registration form, and then yeah, you just need to get your order in for those products by this coming Saturday, the 13th. Yes, 13th. And then the class will be on the 27th. So that gives you time to get your products, for me to get the project kits out to you. And then it's actually it'll be a pre-recorded video that I will then email to you. And you'll be able to then do that class at your own leisure. Which is great, because if you are busy and you have to do it in spits and spurts, because we all have different things happening in our lives, then that's fine too, or you can just store the video there for when you're ready. But if you'd like more information, please let me know, and I'd love to chat with you about that. All right, so I just wanted to also let you know, just before we get started, during Sale-A-Bration, as I said, there's different ways that you can earn free product. So you can either purchase, so that's placing an order of over $90. You can host a party. So at the moment I'm doing online parties and online workshops for people, because with COVID I'm still not meeting with people in person. And so I'm happy to run an online workshop for you. If that's something you're interested in, let me know, because you can receive free products through doing that as well. And also joining Stampin' Up! If that's something that you're interested in, if you would like to get a great discount on all your crafting products. So demonstrators get between 20 to 25% discount on all of their products. So you start off at 20% and then you can build that up over time. And then also too, there's so many other perks of being a demonstrator. So you don't have to hold classes, you don't have to do Facebook Lives like I do. You can simply just purchase the products for yourself. There is a business opportunity there as well. If you're looking for a business that you can run from home, that certainly is an option as well. And I'm happy to talk to you about that if that's something you're interested in. But otherwise, you can just join for your own crafting hobby and just get those products at a discount. So rather than giving me your 20%, you can keep your 20% for yourself and perhaps purchase more product. Or just enjoy the 20% discount and save yourself some money. But if you do join at the moment with Sale-A-Bration, so until the 28th of December, there is an amazing special. When you join, you will get, and I'll actually show you in the catalog, in the brochure on page 18, when you join. So you will get I have to go this side. You will get 5 packets of designer series paper. They're 6 by 6 inches. Now these ones, you'll be getting those as a pre-release, because these ones won't actually be available until the new annual catalog comes out in May. But if you join, you can get those now. So you'll get 5 packs. That's a total of 200 sheets of paper. It's $100 worth of product. For absolutely free, just for joining Stampin' Up! Now I've got some of them here. I sort of tried to fan them out to show you. This is just one of the paper packs. So they're in each of our color ranges. This is the subtles, and then we have the regals, the brights, the neutrals, and there'll be the one of the in color, the current in color packs as well. So yeah, so aren't they beautiful? And that's all the patterns. So they're all double-sided, and I've got each of the patterns showing there, but this is just one pack. So you'll get 5 packs of paper, absolutely free. And there's no lock-in contracts or anything like that with Stampin' Up! You can join whenever you like, leave whenever you like. It's only $169 for the starter kit, and in the starter kit, it's not a set starter kit. You actually choose whatever you want to put in there. So you can choose any of the products from any of the catalogs to pop into your starter kit. You only pay $169, but you get to choose $235 worth of product. So that means you get an additional $66 worth of product plus $100 worth of additional designer series paper, plus you get free shipping on that starter kit order as well. So and Stampin' Up will throw in some catalogs and some order forms and things like that if you need them. So yeah, it's a great time to join. So if that's something you're interested in, I would love to have you join my team. I have a beautiful team of creative people who are all so lovely. We have such a beautiful community. We have a Facebook group where we share our projects, we share tips and tricks and information and all sorts of things. We have a great time together. I run challenges, I give them prizes, I send them gifts, all sorts of things. It's really a lot of fun. So if that's something you're interested in, please let me know and I'd love to have a chat with you about that. All right, let me show you what we're going to be playing with today. And then we'll tip the camera down and we'll get started. So we are going to be playing with one of the Sale-A-Bration items, and I'm just going to find it in the brochure first. Here it is here. Oops, I have it on the right page. Yes, the Flowers and Field Designer Series paper. So this is the one we're going to be playing with. There's lots of lovely samples there in the brochure that you can see. So I have got mine a bit chopped up because I've been using mine. So there's lots and lots of designs in there, which I'll show you probably when we tip the camera down, but I just wanted to briefly show you before we get started. It's a bit hard to see them like this because of all of the pieces that I've chopped into already, but you'll kind of get a feel for some of the designs here. If I hold them up like that, you can see there's lots of different florals. They're really, really pretty. So we're going to be playing with some of that. We're also going to be playing with the Hey Girlfriend stamp set. This is super cute, and this is the first time I'm going to be playing with this one with you today. So I took the time to put all the stickers onto the back of them so that we had them all mounted up ready. Super cute. And this one's from the mini catalogue. So we're going to be playing with that one today. And I wanted to just show you that designer series paper I used in conjunction with the corner bouquet stamp set that I was using last week, and I made this really pretty fun fold card. So it opens like that, and yeah, and that's the stamp set and that's the designer series paper in the background. So I've used the both of those products. They're both free Sale-A-Bration items that you can earn. So that's really pretty. I posted this one the other day. I think it was it on Saturday or Friday? I posted that one. So you'll see that on my, my Facebook business page here. Now today's project is actually inspired by one of my team members, Amanda Fitzgerald. She made this beautiful card, and I did briefly show this a couple of weeks ago. We had a little bit of a team swap with a couple of the team members in my team. And this is the one that this is Amanda's swap card. So I'm basing my card on hers today. However, I'm changing it up. So I'm using her layout, her basic layout, but I'm using the same designer series paper, but I'm not using the ones she's used here. I'm using one of the other ones in the pack. And I'm going to be using a different stamp set. So how about we tip the camera down onto the desktop and get started, and I'll show you what we're going to be making. Okay, so let me just, I'm putting that one in the wrong envelope. Alrighty, just move that to the side. Okay, so I'll cover up the camera and I'll tip it down onto my desktop and we can get started. So just bear with me for a moment. Okay, here we go. I'll flip these cameras. Okay, we get everything all clamped up and ready to go. Lower that a little bit so that you can all see what I'm doing. All right, let's see now. I'll put some lights down while my iPad is just catching up because there is a bit of a lag. It's about a 30-second delay. There we go. Oh, I need to straighten that up. Okay, it takes me a moment just to get everything aligned. hopefully that will be okay. I'll just wait for my iPad to catch up so that I can see. Oh, that's not too bad. I'll bring these down a little bit so that you can see them. So there's my blog. Okay, so it's mandyspapercraftcreations.blogspot.com, or there is my website as well, but everything you need will be there at my blog. And there's some creative oh, hey Robin, no worries at all. We were a bit late starting anyway, Robin. I had some technical issues and had to reboot my router and things, so all good. You haven't missed much yet. So yeah, go to my blog. There is links to my online store, which you'll see at the top. There's information about my technique club. There's projects there. There's with some ideas and inspiration. There's links to the catalogs in PDF form if you would like them as well. So lots and lots of things there. So go to my blog. That's where you'll find everything. Now, if you are shopping with me, each month I have a new host code. For orders that are over $50, if you use my host code, I will actually send you a thank you gift for shopping with me, because I really appreciate your support. So yeah, be sure to use my host code, and you'll see this on my blog as well. And then that way I'll be able to send you a thank you. All right, so let's have a close-up look at Amanda's card. So on Amanda's card here, she has used the, let me just get that here. She has used the Flower and Field Designer Series paper, as I said, and she's just done some layers here. So each one of these layers she's mounted, or the first one is flat, then the other two are mounted up. This paper here is from the mini catalogue. This is actually cut from Designer Series paper as well, but it's from a different pack to these ones. And she's coloured these and then fussy cut them and mounted them up on her card, and they look awesome. But I'm going to be using a different stamp set today. Same paper pack as these ones, but I'm using some of the different paper. Well, actually, I think I'm using this paper, but she's used a different portion of that paper, so it's going to look a little bit different. All right, so let me show you what the paper looks like. So I'll pull it out this time so you can see it all. So I have got, yeah, as you can see, I've been using this quite a bit, and I've got lots of little bits and pieces all chopped up. So, all right. So they come in 12 by 12 sheets, okay? So it's like this big one here in the 12 by 12 sheets, and I've just chopped mine up as I've been going. So this is one design. They're all double-sided, so you'll see the beautiful patterns on both sides. I love this one with the blue roses. They're really pretty. And on the back you've just got some deeper green colour. I think that one might be, not sure if that's just jade or if it's garden. Actually, let's have a look on the packet here. It tells us the colours that are in this paper pack. So we've got Bumblebee, Cherry Cobbler, Flirty Flamingo, Granny Apple Green, Just Jade. Okay, so that will be the Just Jade. Misty Moonlight, Petal Pink, Pool Party, Poppy Parade, Pumpkin Pie, Shaded Spruce. Oh, it might be shaded. No, it's not. Oh, yeah, it is. It might be Shaded Spruce. So Saffron and Whisper White, which is now Basic White because the Whisper White has been discontinued and Basic White has taken over from that one. So lots and lots of colours in this paper pack. It's amazing. And then this one, I really love this one. That's the one that I used on this card. Whoops. If I can grab it. Yeah, that's the one I used on this card here in the background there. Really pretty. And on the reverse side, we've got some stripes, which is the one Amanda used for the base of her card. And then, let's see, then we've got this one, which is the one we're going to be using today. I don't have a full piece of that now because I've used quite a bit of that one. So there's that one. And then this one, which is another one that we're going to be using. Oh, I think I've got a larger piece in here of that one. Let's have a look. Here we go. That one there. So this is just a half sheet, this one. This is a 6 by 12 that I've cut down. Cute daisies. That one's got, oh, I didn't show you the back of this other one. Didn't show you the back of that one. Oh yes, I think I did. We're using some of this one as well. Then we've got some leaves, and I think that's it. Is that all of them now? I think that's all of them. Yeah. So lots and lots of beautiful paper. Yes, it is pretty, isn't it, Laurie? I love all the florals. They're just so beautiful. Okay, and here's the stamp set, the Hey Girlfriend stamp set. So we are going to be, I'll just find that in the catalogue for you, and so you know which page it's on and where you can find it. Here it is here, Hey Girlfriend. So it's on page 50 of the mini catalogue, the January to June 2021 mini catalogue. So you've got 12 cling stamps in there. You've got the 3 little girls, a cute little puppy, a little kitten, and then some really cute sentiments. Oh, and the balloon, not to forget the balloon. This one is $1 million stamp set. So it was designed by one of the Stampin' Up! Demonstrators who had achieved 1 million sales, 1 million CSV in sales. And her name is April Lopez. So this one is $37 for the stamp set. And the code, if anyone would like the code, if you don't have a catalogue, I'll give you the code. So grab a pen or a pencil and I'll give it to you. It's 154516. That's 154516, and it's $37 here in Australia. So really cute layouts here to give you a little bit of creative inspiration. We're basing ours on Amanda's card today, so we're going to do something a little bit different. Okay, so the one we're going to be using today is this cute little girl with curly hair. And when I saw her, I thought, oh, I want to do a card with a little girl with red curly hair. My niece has, oh, thank you, Amber. Amber's just put the code and the stamp set name up in the comments for us. So, oh, this one's on your list, Julie. Fantastic. Hopefully I'll give you some more ideas of how to use it today. So yeah, my son, anyone who knows my son has red hair, and one of our nieces also has red hair. My son's hair is straight, but my niece's hair is really, really curly, like ringlet curly red hair. And so I wanted to make this little girl with red hair. So that's what we're going to do today. And we're going to include the little kitten as well in our stamped image today. Okay, we're also going to be using the Banners Pick a Punch, which is found in the annual catalogue. And this one, well, actually, is this one in the, yeah, I'm just trying to think, is this one in the annual or this one's in the mini? Now I'm not even sure which catalogue it is. Anyway, you'll find it on my online store. And you've got the 2 different ends to the banners that you can make there. And we've got 3 sizes in each one. So you've got 1/2 inch, 3/4 inch and 1 inch. So basically you've got 6 punches in one punch with one of these picker punches. So these are really fantastic for using with your sentiments. Okay, now I don't have the card already completed for you to show you because I was constructing it and deciding what I was going to do just before I went live. Amber was helping me with colors because I knew I wanted to use this particular paper. And so Amber was helping me choose colors. And those of you who don't know who Amber is my daughter. She's in her 20s. I won't give you her actual age because she might not want me to. But she is a graphic designer, qualified graphic designer, but she does work as my helper. So she's great with color and design and things like that. So often we collaborate on projects. And if ever I'm stuck on colors or things like that, I always say to her, Amber, can you help me with colors? And she's fantastic. So these are the colors that she chose. I knew I wanted the little girl with red hair, and that's all I knew. So I said to her, look at the colors in the paper. I want a little girl with red hair. I want to use either the kitten or the puppy. And then, so we worked it out. We're going to have a little ginger kitten as well to match with the little girl with red hair. So we have got Granny Apple Green in the light and the dark. We've got Dark Poppy Parade. We've got Light and Dark Pumpkin Pie. we've got, I'll do this one last. We've got, I think this one's a balmy blue. Yep, light and dark balmy blue. And then for the skin tone, because she's a redhead, so she's got fair skin, we're using light petal pink. Okay, and then the kitten is going to be used with the 2 pumpkin pies as well. So these are our Stampin' Blends. If you're not familiar with Stampin' Blends, they are an alcohol-based marker. They blend beautifully together. You can mix colors together. We've got light and dark combo in each of the colors that we have in the range. And I've lost count of how many there are in the range. I should do a recount one day actually, and work out how many we actually have in the whole color range, because there's so many of them. There isn't one exactly for every single color in Stampin' Up's color range. There's a couple of colors that there's not a blend for yet, which we're hoping there will be eventually one for every color. But some of the colors are a little bit close, so it's probably not needed for every color. So anyway, so we're going to color our little girl in those colors, sorry. I'll pop them up there. We're using Memento Tuxedo Black ink today. That's the one you want to use when you're using the alcohol blends, so that it doesn't bleed when you're working with it. And we've got some beautiful is it Blushing Bride metallic ribbon. This is beautiful, and it's got sort of like a rose gold effect on one side, and the other side is more of the sort of satiny texture to it. That's the side we're actually going to be using. All right, so let's get started. I'll give you all of the measurements. Actually, where are my measurements? That is a good question. Amber wrote down the measurements for me somewhere. There they are. Found them. All good. Okay. Oh, Tina Marie says Amber is awesome. Yes, she is. She's a fantastic help. All right, so let me give you the measurements of all of the layers that we're using today. So we have got a piece of balmy blue for our base. This is just a piece of A4 cardstock cut in half. So it measures 21 centimeters by 14.85 centimeters, and it's scored and folded at 10.5. Okay. Then we've got our piece of designer series paper. So our Flower and Field designer series paper. And remember, it's double-sided. We're using the floral side today, and this one measures 9.9 centimeters by 14.25 centimeters. Then we've got a little layer of Whisper White. Well, it's now going to be basic white. I'm just using up the last of my Whisper White, so well, I had actually stocked up on it, so I've still actually got quite a bit of it left. So I'll be using all of my Whisper White up before I buy any of the basic white. So this one measures 5.3 by 13 centimeters. Then we have another piece of the same designer series paper, but just one of the other patterns. And this time we're going to use the bumblebee side with the polka dots. And this one is 5 centimeters by 12.7. Then we have our piece of Whisper White, which we're going to do our stamping of for our focal images. And this is 7 centimeters by 10.7. And then our sentiment is going to be stamped on Blushing Bride, and this is 3/4 of an inch wide. And then we basically just had a length. So we basically picked out a scrap of Blushing Bride, cut it to the width of 3/4 of an inch, and we just put it into the punch and just punched one end of it, and then we trimmed that to the length. I'll show you when we go to put that down. We just trimmed that to the length of where we want to place it on the card. So one end is going to be a straight edge. So basically you can just stamp your sentiment and then you can trim the length down. Okay, so that's really easy. Oh, we're also too going to be using some rhinestone basic jewel. So you can see I've only got, well, less than half a packet of this one. And I've even got some in there that I've colored as well. Your Stampin' Blends you can use to color your rhinestones or any of your embellishments actually, and your ribbons too, because they're an alcohol marker, so they do dry on non-porous surfaces. So yes, you can use them to color your embellishments, which is awesome. All right, so let's start with our stamping, and then we'll let our ink dry while we put together some of the base pieces, and then we can construct everything. All right, so I'm bringing in my little girl and my little kitten, and we might bring in the sentiment as well, and we'll stamp that as well. All right, so I'm going to work out where the little kitten is going to go, so that I know where the girl is going to go, and we'll bring in our memento ink. All right, so I'm just going to take the ink to the stamp because this stamp is a little bit big. So just give it a bit of a swirl, pat that on, make sure you've got good ink coverage on your stamp. Yep. All right, so working out, the kitten's going to go about there, so the little girl is going to go about there, over to the side. Okay, give that a nice firm press. Beautiful, look at that. Oh, we'll leave that there, we've got to give that a clean. All right, so let's do our little kitten. So our kitten's only a small stamp, so we can just dab that onto the ink pad and then just check we've got the right amount of ink. Pop the little kitten down there. There we go. We could have even done the little girl over a little bit further, but that's okay because we're going to have the sentiment coming in at the top as well anyway. All right, so we'll set that aside to dry for the moment. Let that ink just dry before we color it with our Stampin' Blends, because otherwise they will bleed. We have to make sure that ink's really dry. We're going to do our sentiment. I'm using Hey Girlfriend. And I'm just going to stamp that basically in the middle. Hopefully I get this right. Let's just see. Oh, it's a little bit crooked. That's okay. Let's flip it over, but let me bring in a scrap first to pop it on so I don't get ink on my desktop. We'll flip it over. You know, cardstock has two sides. Thankfully it does. So that we can flip it over and have another go with our stamp then. Let's see how we go this time. Oh, that one's still a little bit wonky. Let's see. Yes, they're both a bit wonky actually. I wonder if I didn't put my sticker on my stamp straight. I was doing them in a rush before I started. Let me just try that. I'm just going to line that up with here and just see. Ah, yes, that's the problem. I haven't put my sticker on straight. So that's what happens if you don't put your sticker on straight. Your image might just be a little bit off. So let me grab another piece of the Blushing Bride, which I have right here, and we will cut another piece. I'll actually show you how to do that. So let me put that one to the side, and I have to remember now that that stamp is a little bit off when I put the sticker on, so I have to hold it at a slight angle. All right, so we want, what did I say, 1/2 inch? Was it? No, 3/4 of an inch wide. So this time I'm using 3/4 of an inch, which is 1.9 centimeters. For those of you who work in centimeters, which of course we work in metric, mostly here in Australia. There we go. I think that's the same. Yep, good, good. Now we've got a long piece, so if I muck it up one end, I can turn it around and do the other end. All right, so I'll pop that into my punch. I'll just release that button. Pop that into the punch, and it goes nicely along that 3/4 inch groove. Flip it over and punch. There we go. So we've got our nice bannered end there. And let's do that again. So we'll bring in our scrap paper. I'll line that up. Remembering that I've put my sticker on crooked, that's my own fault for rushing. And so I'm going to want it, I'm trying to work out which way, so it's like that. So I'm going to want it up a little bit that way, just slightly at an angle that way, I think. Oh, that's it. Yay, good job. Okay, that worked. So I have to remember now, every time I use that stamp set, I have to just tweak it a little bit, have it at a slight angle. All right, so we'll let that side dry. Let's clean these off quickly and then give them a little clean on our chamois. As I always say, it's a good idea to clean your stamps as soon as you use them. So that helps to avoid staining. The red rubber stamps are pretty good. They don't stain up as much as the photopolymer. The photopolymer stamps, that's the clear ones. They do tend to hold the inks of some of those deeper colors, especially with the reds and some of the deep blues, whereas the red rubber, they clean off really well. But even though they stain up on the photopolymer, it doesn't affect how the stamp actually works. They still work quite well. It's just that they, yeah, they just look a bit more icky because they're stained. So I'm just going to trim this to the size of the original one, because I think Amber might have already trimmed that to the right size for me. So I'll just trim, just going to mark that, and I'll just quickly trim that with my trimmer. So if you don't have a paper trimmer, these are a fantastic tool to have. They're a really high quality trimmer. The blades last a really long time on these ones. This new trimmer came out, oh, probably about 12 months ago or so, that particular one. And there are the replacement blades that you can get as well. So yeah, it's a really great trimmer. All right, so we've got our sentiment and we've got our little girl just over there drying. Let's put together some of these layers so that we can get started. Now I'm just going to bring in my silicone craft sheet to do my gluing so that I don't get glue on my desktop. I'm going to use some Stamp & Seal, which is like a tape runner, and we're going to layer these two pieces together. So I'm just going to take my which color was it again? I forget now. Bumblebee, that's right, Bumblebee. We've got quite a few yellows and I often forget which one's which. And flip that over and just put the adhesive on the reverse side, of course. There we go. And you can see how sticky it is. It's sticking to my fingers. Oh, there we go. Now, if you're concerned about getting your layers straight and lining everything up, you can, actually, you know what? I'm going to move this up a little bit so that you can see. I feel like I'm almost working off camera. Yes, you can use our multi-purpose liquid glue if you're concerned about lining things up, because you do have that little bit of extra wiggle time while that glue is drying. Whereas with some of the other adhesives, when you, oh, what am I doing? I'm trying to line it up top to bottom. It's supposed to have a border all the way around. See, that's what happens when you talk too much, not focusing on what I'm doing. All right, let's try that again. Actually, I'm going to flip that over now. Do that on the other side. Okay, let's try that again. I was thinking of the projects I was making the other night. They were lined up top to bottom, and I forgot this one actually isn't. It has a border all the way around it. Silly me, I'm getting all my projects mixed up. Too many projects happening at once, which is a good thing. Good thing that lots of projects are happening at once. There we go. Okay, good. All right, so we've got that nice border all the way around. So I'm just going to take my bone folder and just go over the edge of that Whisper White piece, just because I had cut that actually on the other side. So we had that little bit of a rough edge. There we go. Beautiful. Good. So that one's done. All right, we'll pop that one over to the side. And now with our large piece of floral paper from the Flower and Field Designer Series paper, we're going to pop that down onto our Balmy Blue. So I'm going to do the same. I'll turn the floral over and we'll lay down some adhesive. There we go. Lay down a good amount of adhesive so that that is going to stay where it should. We don't want that lifting off. All right, and this one also is going to have a border all the way around. So this one's got a 3mm border, and we'll try and line that up as straight as we can, as I always say when I'm on camera, because more often than not, when I'm trying to rush, I don't get it straight, which that one's just a fraction off, but that's okay. I'm not going to worry too much about it today. Hopefully nobody will notice. Hopefully the recipient won't notice. All right, so now we can put our layer onto there. So I'm actually going to mount this layer up this time, and then I'm going to mount up the little girl as well. So I'm going to use some Stampin' Dimensionals to do that. So I'll bring in my Stampin' Dimensionals and my Take Your Pick tool. And I like to use my Take Your Pick tool to pick up my dimensionals. I find that that's easier for me. Some people like to just pick them up with their fingers, but my nails aren't terribly long, so I find it's easier just to use my Take Your Pick tool. Whoops. There we go. Okay, so we'll just remove the backings of that those dimensionals. Again, using the pointy end of the Take Your Pick tool. This is a really great tool. If you don't have one of these for your basic toolkit, this is a great tool to have. It's got multiple attachments. So if I'm using the paper piercing tool at the moment, and then if you twist that and take that off, turn that around and put it back in, then you've got a spatula tool, which mine is very sticky and I keep forgetting to clean it. It's got adhesive on it from when I've been lifting layers. When I've made little boo-boos or not put something down straight, I've used this to get in between those layers and lift those layers up and separate them. We also have some stylus tools to add to that as well, which are great. I'll get them out to show you. I'm aware that I've got this sitting here very sticky. I've just got this little box here that was made for me from one of my lovely team members. And we've got a stylus tool here as well with 2 different size stylus tips on it. So that also goes into that same end. And so they're great for scoring. They're great for shaping your flowers, shaping, you know, other cardstock or papers and things like that. So that's fantastic. And then obviously there's the cap for the end. And then this end has putty in the end, which is great for picking up small things, small pieces of cardstock, small embellishments, sequins, all that sort of thing. And the putty is stored in the top of the head there. And when you want some more putty, you just give a slight turn on the head there, and then the putty comes out the top. So then you can take these out and replace them with new putty heads. And then we also have a die brush for all of our dies, which attaches into this end as well. So it's a really fantastic tool. There's lots of attachments for it. And yeah, you can use it for lots of different things. I use this every time I create a project. So it's my most used tool along with my paper trimmer. All right, let's get back to our card. So I'm going to pop this piece down on the left-hand side with an even border on the left side and the top and the bottom. There we go. All right, so that is all ready to go. So now we are ready to put together our little girl. Well, actually, we're going to color her first and then we're going to mount her on there. Okay, so let's bring in now our, I'll just move all of this over. We'll bring in all of our beautiful Stampin' Blends and we'll get to coloring our little girl. Okay, so let's start with the hair first. So the hair is going to be red, well, orange actually, because as you know, redheads actually have orange hair, not red hair. I'm going to pop, because we're working with Stampin' Blends, I'm going to pop my silicone craft sheet underneath, just because these absorb through the cardstock. And actually, I'm just thinking, did we use thick whisper white? No, we didn't. We didn't use thick whisper white. Usually when I'm using Stampin' Blends, I stamp onto thick whisper white because it has a better absorbency and it's a bit thicker when those colors bleed through. But we've actually picked up ordinary whisper white today, but that's okay. So even more important to have something underneath you when you're coloring. Oh, Laurie says, can I bring it closer? Yeah, sure, Laurie. Let me move these up out of the way. And I can bring my camera down a bit closer. How's that? Is that better? I might have twisted that a little bit then. Yeah, I did. Let's see if I can get that a bit straighter. Is that straight? There we go. Because when I've got the camera up this way, I can't actually zoom the camera. I've got to move the whole tripod down. There we go. Hopefully you can see that better now. All right, so our Stampin' Blends they are dual tip. We have a bullet tip on one end, which is what I'm going to be using for the hair. And the other end is a brush tip, which is great for blending colors. All right, so I'm going to start with the bullet tip with the pumpkin pie, and I'm using the dark. No worries, Laurie. And so I'm just going to just gently go in to those. Oh, I didn't grab my glasses. Let me just grab my glasses from the other desk. There we go. Otherwise, I won't be able to see what I'm doing. I'll have blurred vision. So just doing these, just sort of doing every other or so curl on her head. And then we're going to go in between with the light. And it doesn't really matter if you do the light first or the dark first. Totally up to you. I'm just using a really light touch because with the Stampin' Blends, they keep absorbing into the cardstock once you lift the pen off the cardstock. It keeps sort of, the colour keeps spreading. And so I'm just using a really soft touch on these little curls, and they're quite fine little curls as well. There we go. And let's see, over here, let's go this one here. And we want some right down to the tips here as well. Good. Let's see. Oh, we better do a little bit more of her fringe, I think. How about this one here? She's got very curly hair, this little girl. That's part of the same curl too there. All right, so we'll fill in now with some of the lighter pumpkin pie. Just put a little bit on that one actually. There we go. All right. So we'll use our bullet tip again. So when you're using these, it's really important to cap each of the pens or each of the markers in between using them. Because they are an alcohol marker, they do dry out really quickly. So just be sure to cap them in between. So with the Stampin' Blends, you can use them to blend the colours, and you can also use them for highlighting, as you can see I'm doing, because I'm kind of using the two colours together but sort of intermingled rather than actually blending them. But we will do a little bit of blending on her dress when we get up to there. So I'm just going really gently and carefully here with her hair. And you'll notice that I haven't done her face. I've started with her hair rather than her face because her face is going to be a lighter colour. And so I didn't want to then draw that colour into her hair. Let's come down with this bit here. There we go. And we're going to have the headband and the flower obviously in a different colour to make that stand out. So who loves Stampin' Blends? Let me know in the comments if you use Stampin' Blends, or if you haven't yet and you've been hoping to try them. They are a great product. Actually, we did a class on Stampin' Blends in my Technique Club. We made a few projects and I showed my class participants a few tips and tricks with using Stampin' Blends. Yeah, Amber loves them. I've converted Amber. Yeah, Amber had never used alcohol markers before Stampin' Blends, and when I first got them she wasn't too sure about them, and then I taught her how to use them and she loves them now. She uses them all the time. There we go. All right, so we've got the hair done. There we go. Great. All right, so I'm going to let the hair dry before I go on to do any of the other pieces around her face. Well, actually, I might do her eyes because they're not touching the hair. So any of the other pieces that are touching the hair, I'm just going to let them dry for a little bit until I go back to them. So just dabbing really gently with those blends on her eyes to give her blue eyes. There we go. And we could do the lips too because they're separate as well. So I'm using Dark Poppy Parade for her lips. She's got such fine little lips, so I only need a few dabs. That was about 3 or 4 little dabs just then. All right, so I'm coming back in. I'm going to do the shoes. I'll actually do the shoes to match her headband. So I might do them now because then I'll go back in with the skin tone later when I'll do all of the skin tone together. So I think I'm going to do the shoes in green because the headband is going to be green. So I'm using the light Granny Apple Green. Again, just using really light dabs there. There we go. All right, and so now we'll do the dress. So with the dress, there's different ways that you can do it. Some people, when they're blending colors, they like to go light to dark. Some like to go dark to light, and some like to do a bit of both. They start with the light, then they put the dark down, then they put some more light down. Totally up to you which way you want to do it. I'm going to do my highlighting first with the dark, and then I'm going to blend that with the light. So this is the Balmy Blue. I'm just going to put a little bit down by her buckle and her waist. There we go, and then we'll blend that out with the light. Oh, Laurie says she loves her blends. Fantastic, Laurie. Great to hear it. So now I'm blending that up. I'm drawing that deeper color up into the top part of the dress. Just going very carefully. We don't want to work it too much, but we're blending a little bit just to take away any of those harsh lines. We still want the we still want to see the difference in the tone there, but we don't want any actual harsh lines as such. And I'm just using the brush tip, and I'm just using gentle brush strokes this time. Sometimes when I'm using blends, I'll use like a circular motion, but because the details in this stamp are quite fine, I'm going really gently with this one. There we go. I'll just blend that colour down into her skirt. And obviously, the more colour you put down, the darker it will become. So just be aware of that if you keep going back over it. It will darken. Now, when you're colouring with the blends, it will look a little bit darker at the beginning while the ink is still wet, but as that dries, it will actually lighten up a little bit. Okay. All right. Oh, I missed a little tiny bit there. There we go. Okay, beautiful. So there's her dress done. All right, so we might go back now to her headband. In fact, I missed a tiny little bit of her hair just here beside her face. I just noticed that bit there. There we go. Okay, good. So we'll go back to her headband. I'm going to use the light Granny Apple Green for this part of her headband that's in her hair. There we go. And for the center part of the flower, there we go. And then we're going to use the dark Granny Apple Green for the large petals on the flower. Excuse my chair squeaking. It's actually my my backrest on my chair. Well, it's not my backrest, it's my lumbar support on my chair. Every time I move, it squeaks. It's very annoying. There we go. So if you can hear that squeaking, that's what that is. And I can just see a tiny little bit more of hair just in that flower there. I'm being particular now. All right, so we'll let that bit dry. We'll come back with the light Granny Apple Green, and we'll do her buckle of her dress. Again, just a really light touch. There we go. And I'll do a little bit of dark, if I can, just around the buckle on her belt. There we go. That was just a few tiny, very gentle dabs of that ink. So there she is, beautiful. All right, now we can go with the skin tone. So I'm using light petal pink for her skin tone. And I need to be careful not to draw in any of that other colour surrounding it. So we don't want to blend any of that colour. So just when you're going near the edges, really gentle, light touches so that you're not bringing in any of that other colour. Careful around the lips because she's got red lips. We don't want to blend any of that colour in. So of course, if you wanted to, you could start with the face, with the lightest colour, and then do all the other colours around it. But I prefer to start with the darker colours and then come back to her face. There we go. So do her beautiful long neck and her chest, her little arms. Has anybody got this stamp set? Have you used this one yet? Super cute. As soon as I saw the catalogue, I knew I had to have this stamp set. I actually never used to use a lot of cutesy type stamps. I used to do a lot of florals and that sort of thing, but I find lately I've been really liking some of the cute stamps and I've been using them more. There we go. So there's our little girl all finished, looking very cute, very sweet. And so her shoes match her belt, which matches her headband. So she's all beautifully color coordinated. Now we'll do our little kitten down here. And I think the kitten needs to have a flower the same color as the little girls. So we might do let's see, I might do the light granny apple green for the kitten's flower. And the kitten is going to be a ginger kitten because the little girl's got red hair. So I want the kitten to also have red hair. Alrighty, so I'm just putting, actually that probably should be dark, not light. Yes, I'm going to go back over that with dark. Dark in the ears and dark on the chest and then light everywhere else. There we go. Otherwise, if we did dark on its little face, we wouldn't see its cute little face. So we'll do the light. Oh, I just noticed that my the tip of my light pumpkin pie is actually getting really shaggy and I can feel it's quite dry. It's probably one that I've used a fair bit. I might need to replace this one soon. All right, I'm going to switch over to my bullet tip because now I'm getting down to the finer details of the legs and the tail. There we go, little kitty. Cute. Now, if you wanted to, you could do a bit of shading on this one as well with your dark, but because it's such a small stamp, I'm not really going to worry about that. There we go. You could do some darker little bits on its little head. You know how little ginger cats, they often have that little bit of extra detail on their heads. So there we go. We have our little kitty and our little girl. So I think we're ready to put that together with our card now. And if I flip that over, you'll see how some of the colours have bled through a little bit onto that cardstock. Not as much today because we haven't blended so much. When you do a lot of blending where you're layering colour over colour, that's when you get a lot of bleeding through the cardstock. Hey, Jenny. Oh, you went to Port Arthur, did you? Did you go away again on the weekend? When I spoke to you last week, you said you'd been away too. You've been a busy lady. So nice to get away. All right, so there's our little girl. Oh, we do need a little bit of grounding here because otherwise she's, oh no, you know what? We're going to be putting ribbon there, so we won't need to ground her. So I'll bring in the, yeah, she is cute, isn't she, Jenny? This is the stamp set, Jenny, if you're just jumping on. We're using the Hey Girlfriend stamp set. Really cute. And I've got this little girl with the curly hair and the little kitten as well. There's a cute little puppy dog there you could use too. It looks like one of your little fluffies, Jenny. This little puppy dog. Jenny's got 2 cute little doggies. All right, so what I hadn't decided was, so I'm going to mount her up on there. I hadn't decided yet about the ribbon, if I was just going to lay it down, if I was going to wrap it around, if I was going to do a bow. I think it might be a bit, I might even do a knot bow perhaps. It's going to put it along the bottom there and wrap it around that piece. And then I was deciding, actually I'm doing that side to match with the label, but I hadn't yet decided. Yeah, I think I'm going to wrap it. I think it will look better wrapped. And then I just need to decide if I'm going to add a little knot bow. So let's see, I'll make one and I'll lay it on there and see how that looks. To just turn that over because I don't want the metallic side. I want the, how will that look if we have a knot bow over the top of the ribbon? I don't know how I'm going to do this. Let's see. I really need to, all right, do that. That's what I was going to see. Oh yeah, okay. So I'll cut a little, so I've just tied a little knot in the ribbon because for the design of the card, if I were to do a full bow, it's going to be too big for the card. And we don't want to take away from the little kitten or from the little girl either. So let's just make a little knot bow today. Okay, so get that, trying to get that to sit nicely. And then we can trim that down to the size that we want when we see how big we need it on the card. That's probably going to be too long. All right, and then I'm just going to wrap this around. So I'll bring in my glue dots. These are our mini glue dots. They are great for adhering ribbon, embellishments, all sorts of things. And I'll just cut a piece a little bit bigger than my white cardstock there. And then I'm going to put some glue dots on the back of each of those ends and wrap that around. Oops, it's on there and there. There we go. And then I'll just wrap that around the base there. And those glue dots will attach onto the back of the card. So you just have to make sure that you pull it tight enough so that it's sitting flat, but you don't want to pull it so tight that it's buckling your card up. And see, now those glue dots are holding that ribbon onto the back of the cardstock. Great. Oh, actually that looks good even just as it is. So, because I was thinking we could pop that on there. In fact, I would probably need to undo that and tie that on, because I think that's going to need to be, yeah, I think that's going to need to be tied on actually, rather than being a separate piece glued on the front. I think that will look a bit funny. So if I do this, let's see, might not need to, might just have just the ribbon strung across there on its own. Let's see if I can twist this ribbon over. I'm glad I'm doing this before I'm adhering it down, just so I can see how it's going to look. And we could pop that down. I need to trim that up. How would that look? Let's move that out of the way. I think maybe just wrapped around. I don't even think we need the bow. I think we just have it wrapped around. That's what I'm thinking. Because we're going to add some bling. I'm going to add some extra bling on there as well. So I think I'll just leave it like that. Yeah. Good. Okay, and then we'll mount that up. Now we've just got to work out exactly where we want to have that. If we want to have that flat on that piece, or if we want to have it mounted up, which means we'll need to double mount that other side. Yeah, I think we'll do that. And then we just need to work out where we're going to position our label. because I wanted the label so that it will line up with the edge here of this floral designer series paper. But it's going to come in there and be mounted up like so. Yeah. So what I might do is I might even work that out now, and then I can trim it, and then that will help me to line this piece up here. So let's see if I have that about there. Or it could even go up a bit higher and overlap those two pieces actually, couldn't it? But then we've got a lot of white space, but that's okay because we can add some bling there in the white space. So let's go. Yeah, I think that'll be okay. We'll work that out. All right, so let's bring in our dimensionals again. No, okay, so Amber said she didn't trim the label to size when she was doing it. So I can just trim it. I can just work it out when I go to put it down. I'll put this piece down first and then we'll work out the label because we can always change that. So I'm going to put dimensionals on this side. So I'll do a single layer on this side. There we go. So make sure we get plenty down there. Now on the other side, we're going to need a double layer of dimensionals because it's going to be sitting on this piece here. And this piece is already layered up. So once we add an additional layer on this side, that's going to make it too high on the other side. So you'll see what I mean when I go to do it. So I'll just remove the backings from this one. And then this one, I'll add an extra layer on top. There we go. All right, now before I remove those backings, I'm just going to put that over here to show you what I mean. So because this piece is already up on dimensionals, and then I've added more dimensionals under this side, it creates a two layer, like a two level on this side, because this side is not attached to that one. Okay, so we need a layer which replaces this layer, as well as the layer that's on here. It's kind of confusing to explain it, but yeah, it'll sit much nicer if I put them there. And then what I'll do is just behind the little girl there, I'll add a single layer to help support that part there, so that we don't have any sagging pieces. I'll pop that there, and that should be. And then you can just test that when you turn that over and just test that to see if that feels stable. That feels good now. Okay, so now we can remove all of those dimensionals, or the backings of the dimensionals, I should say. And then we can adhere. Yes, layers just like Lego blocks. Yes, exactly, Tina Marie. Yes, that's a good way of explaining it. Okay, so then just making sure that we're laying this where we want to have it. So I'm going to put it about there. So we've got that layer on, and this side is hanging off onto that designer series paper there. There we go, cute. All right, so now we've got to work out about our sentiment, and we've got to work out the length that we need our sentiment to be. So we can have it up there, or we can have it down here. We could even have it with the girlfriend. No, I don't want it right pointing to her head. I think that would look a little bit funny. I want it up here, in this area up here, with a little bit of border just above it. So it's almost the right length, but I'm just going to trim just a fraction off it, and I'm just going to mark it with my pencil here where I can see where I want to have it trimmed. And I'll just quickly trim that on my trimmer. So I'll bring that over, and we'll trim a little tiny bit off there. It's like 1.5 millimeters, or maybe 2 millimeters. I just trimmed off that. So when I lay this down, that should now line up with the edge of the designer series paper there. And I'll just rub out that little pencil mark. There we go. There we go. So we're just going to lay that on there. Now we can mount that up again if we want to, and make 3 layers of dimensionals, Why not? Let's do that. And then that part is, this end here is sort of going to hover. You can do 3 layers of dimensionals under there if you want to, but I think I'm just going to let that hover. So the way I work out where I want my dimensionals to go is I just flip that label over. So if you see what I just did, I work out where it's going to sit, flip it over. I'm going to line up that edge with the edge of the designer series paper, and then that'll show me exactly where I need to pop down my dimensionals. And this dimensional sheet is nearly out. So I'll pop one there, and it is out except for my edge pieces. Oh, let me cut some of my edge pieces here, because we don't want to waste them. There we go. So I'll pop one down here. There we go. All right, so just remove those backings. And over we go with our little sentiment. Now I've got to remember to line up the edge here of my sentiment label with the edge of my designer series paper. And just watch where her bow is, her flower in her headband as well, because I don't want to put it over there. There we go. So if I line that up about there, there we go. Cute. Julie is saying, just a thought about the ribbon. There is a small flower or buckle you could put in the middle of the ribbon to match the little girl's headband or belt on her dress. There is this. Oh, is there a small flower or a buckle you could put in the middle of the ribbon? Actually, we do have a buckle in one of the other stamp sets. In one of the other die sets, actually. That's a really good idea, Julie. There is another little buckle. Yeah, I'd have to pull it out though. There's no other little flowers that I have right here at the moment that I could add on there, but maybe that's something I can add afterwards. Yeah, that's a really good idea. Let's add some bling, and we'll see once we get the bling down. We could even put a little bit of bling on there. How about if we put some bling on the ribbon? We could put some bling on there. That might help. Put some bling there. That one, and if we put another little one beside it. There, we could add some bling to the ribbon. And then we could put some other bling over here where it's looking a little bit vacant, a little bit of white space. A lot of people like white space. I'm not used to working with a lot of white space. I usually like to fill up all my white space. Or at least put something there so that it doesn't look, you know, out of place. And if we pop one, I might get a larger one for up there actually. This one? Or a really large one. We could put a really large one up there maybe, or it might be too big near her head. That really large one, that might be a bit too big. Let's go the medium size one, I think. And pop that one up there. There we go. How do you think that looks, Julie, with the bling on the ribbon? I think that's really cute. It's a really cute card. If you wanted to, you could even, before you adhered that label, you could go around the edge of that label with your Blushing Bride ink as well, just to highlight that a little bit. That would look nice. You could even do that with this piece as well, so that it's not just stark white. You could even ink around the edges with a Dauber and your Blushing Bride ink, just to bring in more of that Blushing Bride color. But I love that we've got the little blue flowers down here which match with her dress. We can see the orange there in the designer series paper which matches with her hair and the kitten. We've got those beautiful bright pops of granny apple green which matches with her bow. And of course we've got the petal pink which we can see in the ribbon, in the flowers down here. So it's a great idea to pull out, oh thanks Laurie, it's a great idea to look at your designer series paper and pull the colors from your designer series paper to have everything, you know, sort of matching and flowing nicely on your project. So let's bring Amanda's card in now too, which was our inspiration, and we can see how just using a project, there you go. So there's Amanda's card. So you can see how I've used her basic layout using the same paper pack that she used and just changing it up with the stamp set. So whenever you see a project, just remember that you can do that. You don't have to always case it or copy it exactly. You can use the basic layout to change it up and create a project that is your own. So I'll show Amanda what I've done with her project, and hopefully she likes my interpretation of her project as well. So yeah, oh yeah, you like that, Julie? Good. Maybe using the blending brushes to cover up some of the white space. You could if you wanted to create a background as well. Yeah, you certainly could. So these are the blending brushes that Julie's talking about. If you haven't seen them before, they're in the new mini catalogue and they come in a pack of 3. So you could actually, if you wanted to create a background, you could use some of your inks with the blending brushes and create a coloured background. You could perhaps do some sky and some grass or something like that. That would be another great idea. Yeah, thanks for all these great ideas, everyone. That's fantastic. Robin says she loves the colour combinations with the designer series paper. Yes, yeah, it flows really well, doesn't it? Yeah, and Rose says so cute. She really likes it. Jenny says nice. She likes it as well. Great. Fantastic. And Laurie likes it too. Very cute all together. Yeah. Fantastic. Just making sure I haven't missed any of the other comments. I think I got everybody else. Yeah. Fantastic. Great. All right. So let me tip the camera back up now so that I can say goodbye to you face to face. And then, yeah, so as I was saying, if you would like any of these products, remember to go to my online store. There is my blog. So if you just go to my blog, mandyspapercraftcreations.blogspot.com, click on the shop button at the top of the page there. There's my host code for February, so make sure that you use that when you're shopping with me so that I can send you a thank you gift. And that would be awesome. And if you have any questions, please feel free to ask me. All right, so or if you need any help with your orders as well, if you get stuck and you need any help at all, feel free to get in contact with me. All right, so let me cover up the camera and I'll tip that up so that I can say goodbye to you face to face. So just bear with me for one moment. And I'll just get that ready. Okay, here we go. I'll take that back up a bit again. And just adjust my lights. Oh my goodness, I'm upside down, I'm on the roof. I forgot to flip my cameras. Let me do that now, there we go. Whoops. It's always something, isn't there? Oh dear, we had the technical issues this morning and then we had the operator issues right now forgetting to flip the cameras. Well, we're only human, aren't we? So, you know. Oh, there's my little card. She's so cute. Isn't she just so cute, that little girl? I really love this stamp set. They're really adorable, cute little girls in this stamp set, little Hey Girlfriend stamps. So if you don't have this stamp set and you want to put it on your wish list, don't forget to add it to your wish list. Go over to my online store if you want to have another close look at it, or have a look in your catalog. But yeah, really, really cute little card. Great. This would be great for even your own friends, or perhaps if you've got young girls in your life, so if you've got grandchildren or nieces or friends' children, that will make a really cute little card for them as well. So yeah, so hopefully you really like that. All right. Thank you. Thanks everyone. So thank you all for being with me this week. It was great to have you along with me and great to play with some more new product, which I hadn't cracked open yet until today. So that was really great. But yeah, lots of fun. And thank you all for your input as well. It's always so much more fun when you all are chatting along with me and as I'm going, giving me suggestions of different embellishing and things like that. I love it when you do that. It's fantastic. So have a great week, everyone. I hope that you get a bit of crafting time in the next week. Remember that I do have my technique club coming up soon, and the cutoff date for that is this Saturday, the 13th of February. I have to keep thinking what month we're in. 13th of February is the last day to register and get your orders in for Technique Club. Look out for the event in the events section here on my business page. And if you're watching this on YouTube later and you would like to find it, you can find me in Facebook under Mandy Witherby, Independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator Australia. That's where you will find my all my events for all of my classes. But if you would like to get in contact with me about anything, feel free to send me an email at mandyspapercraftcreations@gmail.com, or you can send me a Facebook message, or if you have my mobile number, you can give me a call or a text, and I'd love to help you. All right. Oh, hey, Diane, I didn't even know you were with us. Oh, you love the look on my face when I was upside down? I lost the ability to comment after we got going eventually. Oh, yes. Okay, because I had to go out and come back in. I'll have to watch the replay now and see what the look on my face was when I was upside down. Sure, it was one of surprise. Or, oh no. All right, have a great week, everyone. I hope to see you again next Monday at 4 o'clock Australian Eastern Daylight Time. But until then, happy crafting, everyone. Bye.